Okay. Good afternoon. It is Saturday, April 1st. We're not really celebrating April Fool's Day today, but we are having a date today, and part of that is Joe wants to start a podcast.
Yes.
So I am a participant, a willing, lovely, wholehearted participant. So he came up or asked ChatGPT some questions to ask us. And this is the Klein Clan podcast.
Yes.
So
You did,
this
actually.
is Return of Klein Clan.
You did way better than I thought you were going to do for the intro. I asked her the intro, and she did really good. So, please, can y'all let her know in the comment section how good she did?
I actually watch quite a few podcasts myself, so
I was about to say, she really does. But not.
I consume a lot of media.
But just because you do doesn't mean that you're actually good. Like, Chris, my business partner, he can tell you. Like, we film people, and, like, you would think, like, they're public speakers. Like, that's what they do for a living. But then whenever they get in front of the camera, it's like talking to a sixth grader who's shy and is like, ooh. So, I'm just saying you're talented.
I feel like you said public speakers, and I'm like, I do that every day.
This is so good.
What'd you make?
You want to taste?
I do not.
Yeah.
I love his coffee. I really do. However, I don't enjoy hot coffee. And I've already had 1 cup of coffee today. And as a pregnant lady, I do suffer from extreme heartburn. During the Taylor Swift concert yesterday, probably like every 30 minutes, which is I know is not probably the best or the recommended on the label, I was popping a Tums.
How was the concert?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like even if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, which I understand, people have their opinions. It's wrong, but people have their opinions on Taylor Swift. Meaning they don't like her. She's a great performer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it like, I don't know if theatrical is the right word, but she had a lot of props, a lot of like acting and the dancing movements, and it was like obviously very, very, very thought out, and like she's a very, very good performer. So like I feel like when you hear like the show is over 3 hours long, you just imagine someone like being in one place all the time.
Yeah.
But like the stage was moving, the people were moving, like there was props, there was different costume changes, like even like really quick changes like that she did on stage.
Yeah.
In the way like she added a jacket or took off a jacket, and yeah, she's always coming out in a new outfit, and she probably had like 30 custom Louboutins, red bottom shoes, and I'm like, wow.
Well, I picked Lauren up from the concert last night, her and friends, and so I really
still
am.
have my concert hair, my crinkly hair with my tinsel. Hope you enjoy for today's episode.
I really do. I am happy that y'all have fun. I really am.
Are you jealous?
No, I'm not jealous. She thinks I'm jealous.
Because he wanted to go with me, but nobody else's husband wanted to go.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel like
so
a night with
I'm
my
a wild
girls would be
card.
good.
This is something y'all learn about me as we continue to do this podcast or vlogs in the future. Is like you can't put me in a box. Like you would think that, like, oh, you know, he looks like he listens to, yeah. What the questions?
No, it was going away, so I'm trying to keep my phone screen open.
Gotcha. No, like they'd be like, oh, he looks like, you know, he probably listens to a lot of rap, or I don't know, like if you're not from America,
the biggest
like
Billie Eilish fan you will
yeah,
ever meet.
I love Billie Eilish. Like whenever me and Lauren met, I was like, I know Taylor Swift. Like I listen to Taylor Swift, and she was like, no, you don't.
Also,
and
Katy Perry.
all of them. I know the songs. You can quiz me all day, but also
He doesn't know the new stuff.
which ones of who?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I don't know it that well. Yeah, I go in and out of phases. But anyways, I am very glad that you had a good time. Glad that you had fun with friends. And as she's talking, I'm going to do my best to try to put up some videos of what she sent me. whenever they were at the concert, because it was cool. Like, I like the videos. I watched them. Mainly, I watch them to make sure that I have a response whenever she asks me if I watched them.
I don't know. I feel like if I'm having fun, I also like want Joe to have fun too. And I know that he wasn't there, and while he was doing his own thing. Hello, Anna, our guest for today. While like you weren't there,
Yeah.
I still wanted you to be like, I still wanted you to know that I was thinking about you, and I wanted you to be like, this is the joy that I'm experiencing. Here's just a taste of the joy, and so I'm going to like send you this photo right now.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
sweet.
like enjoying the concert, took a photo really quick, and then sent it to Joe,
Mm-hmm.
or like took a video, sent it to Joe.
No, that's sweet. Hey, Anna.
Hi.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of tell you guys what this
Butthole.
podcast is.
Sorry, I'm trying not to have her butthole in the shot. Going at the best.
I wanted to tell you guys kind of what this podcast is going to be about. It's mainly three things. Honestly, the first one is to get to know each other better. That's all. Honestly, that's kind of all I want to do it for. I'm not trying to like blow up or like have these hooks that like catch your attention for shorts clips. Like, I just want to hang out with my wife and get to know her more. The second thing is parent and family life. Like, talk about that as we go throughout our lives. We have a baby on the way, which is exciting, and Lauren really loves.
Wait, we do?
We do have a mom.
Are you pregnant?
Yes. Pregnant with a bunch of ideas, which leads me to my next topic: business ideas and financing. Because this lady over here, I may be the business guy, I may be the one who like has the LLCs, but she is like, she's scrappy, and she really,
Scrappy.
yeah, when it comes to like finding those deals as a mom and as a wife. And so I think that sometimes we have these conversations, and I think to myself, oh, I kind of remember how that conversation went, or I kind of remember that advice. And it would be nice for not only me 5 years from now to watch a video that we made 5 years ago and just remember the moments and remember where we were in that moment, but even cooler than that, when our kids become our age and they're able to watch us as we grow up and they're going through the same things in life. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different, but they're like, oh my gosh, mom and dad face the same thing. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I want to do. Okay, so what was your favorite subject in school and why?
My favorite subject was probably yearbook, just because I got to be the boss a lot of times. Because I was like I was like an editor of some sort, and it was kind of just like doing fun projects with your friends all the time. But I mean, it was stressful, but it's probably like the one I cared most about. But other than that, I usually liked my math classes because it was like, I feel like math was so horrible. Like, the content was so horrible, but I always was like in a class with a friend. And so I remember just like always like goofing off with a friend and like probably getting in trouble. But then like complaining 3 days later because I didn't understand what's going on. But like I was always in like AP and honors classes. And so like I did well. Like, I typically got like an A or a B or something like that in those classes.
But your
So I
book
wasn't,
was like your highest grade?
slacking. Probably. Because the teacher just gave me 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I put in the work. I think I had like, remember I had like newspaper, which I worked on yearbook, because like yearbook and newspaper are like kind of the same thing. I had like newspaper class and then like journalism class, and then I was like, I think I had study hall, and then I came back to be like a TA as well. And I spent my lunch in there, and I like was there at like 45 minutes before school, and then I like stayed after school like an hour or so, even after like the teacher left.
Like in the room?
Mm-hmm.
How were you allowed to?
I think I was just like trusted. I don't know.
Huh. That's cool, though.
Yeah. I feel like today that wouldn't really work too well. Or if people actually knew that was happening, we would have gotten in trouble. But, yeah.
That's interesting. That's cool. That's where you asked me.
Oh. And what about you? I was just waiting. I was like, okay, your turn.
My favorite was East Lab. You probably already know this. Maybe. But East Lab was my favorite because it was...
What does EAST stand for?
Environmental and Spatial Technology Incorporation. Yes. So basically what we did is problem solve. So like we would go to a community garden and try to figure out like, you know, what issues they may be running into when it comes to like not being able to produce certain vegetation within soil. So we would like actually like take soil samples and figure stuff out. Or let's say, for instance, someone was building something in the community, a nonprofit. They didn't have a lot of funding. Like, we could come in and, like, map the ground for them with our GPS units and help them with stuff like that. But that's kind of where I began to get serious about video and, like, competing in competitions. And, you know, I actually competed as a DJ. No, I competed as a engineer, like what your brother does, Matthew. Like where he makes music, I competed in that, like for 3 years in a row.
He said an engineer like my brother, yet my dad has a doctorate degree in engineering, a PhD
Correction.
in engineering.
Correction. Music, like people who make music.
Engineering, yes, is different.
Yes.
But you can't just lead in with, I was an engineer, like I competed in engineering.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Anna, your butt. I'll put your butt up there.
So yeah, that probably
She's fine.
was
We love
my
her.
favorite subject. What hobbies or interests did you have before you? What hobbies or interests did you have before we met? Before we met.
Before?
Yep.
Taylor Swift, cats, photography, and graphic design. Organization. I'm still the same person.
Yeah, same thing. Everything, I think. I don't even think there is anything new for either of us. Yeah, I think everything's still the same. It's just like we just decided to go more into one of them and go deeper, right?
She does the same thing when she wants to come outside. And she does this, I think it's because she can't see inside. I think that's actually her issue. So, like, if we close the blinds at night, she'll try to make us open the blinds so that she can see outside. But there are other blinds open. But I think she wants to go inside now.
Pause on the podcast. We have a cat emergency. Someone wants to go inside. Okay. What is one thing about your personality that people might be surprised to learn? I think you definitely have some things.
Oh. Well, then maybe you should tell me what mine are. I was just going to say, like, I start off as an introvert and then, like, very, very shy. Just because I'm very much a people pleaser. And so I'm like, you have better things to say. And so I want you always to say your things. So I'm just not going to say my things. Which could be a flaw, but then once I get comfortable and I realize that people care what I have to say, then I start speaking them. There Charlie goes, and he is trying to catch a mosquito. But what's something that people could learn about, or what they are surprised to learn about me?
About me?
No, about me. You used to, like, I think there's quite a lot of things.
Oh.
So I know it's in your brain.
Well, one of them is, not that there's anything wrong.
That's
She's
so
not
weird.
flawed. She doesn't give any, but If
I
I
am
were to
flawed.
see you on the streets, I would not think you were married to a guy who looks like me.
You're my little black man.
Oh my gosh.
You're my black baby daddy. What about you now?
Everything.
Everything.
I think most people, even my family and you still maybe, I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know if you believe me, but I am an outroverted introvert, which is actually a thing. So that means that I will process everything internally. I don't externally process. I used to, but I don't. But I still do, in certain circumstances, need or get energy from people. And like if I'm in the crowd of people, I am an extrovert majority of the time. But I am also very introverted and get tired of hearing people talk. Right? What do you think?
I think it depends on the season. Right now, you're spending a lot of time with a lot of different people. And so then when it is time for us to be like, okay, well, let's go out and be social. Like, let's go hang out with friends. Let's, like, I don't know, go to church. And it's kind of like, I don't want to talk to anybody today because I think that you have exceeded your own personal limits of people. Whereas I think I'm around like, 100 middle schoolers. I make this comment all the time that like I guess I don't feel like, well, I'm tired of talking to people because they're just like middle schoolers, and it's like not into anything that's really like, I guess, taxing on me where I'm like just weighted down or tired from talking. And sometimes I am, but a lot of times it's just like I want adult interaction.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I crave that. But then again, like too much adult interaction is just like, I want to be in my bed for 18 hours straight.
Oh my gosh.
And then I want to sit on my couch. And then I want to clean my house and get ready for the next week and not talk to anybody all weekend.
Gosh, these are flies out here and they're so annoying.
It's really not even...
It crawled on my forehead.
Okay. Joe, I don't think that's going to help.
It ready to go away. It's gone. Over there somewhere. Okay. So, parenting and family life. What are some things you're looking forward to experiencing as new parents? I'll go first. I am looking forward to... It sounds bad, but having a reason to not go hang out with people because I'm with my baby. Like people, like parents, I keep hearing these parents come up to me in church or like whenever I'm on a shoot and I say, I have a baby on the way, they're like, you better enjoy it. You're not going to have any social life. And I'm like, exactly. That's why I'm ready for it. Like I want to just be able to spend time with my kids. And like, I'm looking forward to the 3 a.m. 3 a.m. wake ups, with the baby and just being able to sit there in the seats and just spend time with the baby in the dark while being exhausted, but knowing and seeing why I'm exhausted right in my hands. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Because right now it's not like that. Like whenever we're working, like the only thing that you have to look in your hands to see why you're exhausted is money. But money goes so quick. So being able to have a baby there is something that I'm looking forward to seeing. Like, you are the reason why I work so hard. You are the reason why I'm tired. You are the reason why I, like you fuel me throughout my day. And I'm able to see that right now tangible. And I'm excited about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's my most exciting thing.
I'm just excited to like actually, it's like right now I'm in the dreaming state of like, can you just imagine there being like a little baby between us right now? And like, we're just, watching TV and there's a baby right here. And like, you're holding a baby or like we're out to dinner. And like, can you just imagine like, we have like a little high chair and the baby's just sitting right here, and like maybe you have to get up to go like change a blowout, or we maybe have to do like an outfit change on our baby, or like, you know, we can just like get up and go to Target if we want to go to Target, but like, you know, packing up a baby and making sure you have everything and changing the diaper before you go, like making sure the baby's fed, like just imagining how that will play out, and then like actually getting to do all of that. I'm just so excited.
Yeah. That made me think about something, so I want to go on a little rant.
A rant?
Some of y'all do this, and you know exactly who you are.
Who is watching us?
They know. I do not like it. And people do this with marriage, too. I do not like it when people, like whenever you're a parent or, you know, you're a fiance or whatever it is, and you're about to enter this new season of life, and people talk so negatively about it. Like they, like,
or
even
just,
in
like, unsolicited advice.
Yeah, well, not even that. Like they literally are like you're like, oh my, like they see that you posted on Facebook you have a baby, and whenever they see you in person in church, they're like, oh my gosh, you better get ready. You're gonna be so tired. I'm like, that's not encouraging. Like, why would you say things like oh my gosh, you better, or when we post on Facebook, they're like, you better enjoy it now. Like all these different things, and I'm like, it's like more condescending. I don't get the purpose of it because it just doesn't make me feel good to read that. Like these are all things I'm already educated about.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not the people that are like closest to us, where like,
yeah,
sometimes we've had those conversations with like people like that are closest to us and like have had kids. We're like, you know, well, how did you like walk through this with your kid or your newborn, or kind of like, you know, the hospital and experience and all of that, and kind of a conversation that we've been discussing this past week of like visitors within the first few weeks. Like that would be something like we would talk about like with people and gain advice and gain wisdom and like actually want to, but it's kind of just like people that we would pass a normal life and be like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, saw this on Facebook. Like, you just flew back in. Like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, just like
small talk
thing.
Yeah.
But then the small talk quickly turns into like, I was dissatisfied with this season in my own life, and so now I want to like project that on you.
Yeah.
And like the 15 seconds that I pass you at church, or 15 seconds that I pass you at work, or going back to our hometown and stuff, like, oh no, like, and it's kind of like, I get like there is a time and a place to really talk through those hard things with people that like you ask it for and you trust and like are kind of in your inner circle, but not from people just passing you every day.
So yes, and that makes me think, like, I want to kind of say, and I want you to kind of think about it too as I'm talking, like, here's what I would recommend. Like, if you are a person and you want to talk, I mean, to me, the way that I would, like, you could still say those things because I get it and we get it. Like, it's always from a heart of they do care. Like, they wouldn't go out of their way to say something if they didn't care. And it's not even the way that they say it. It's not rude. But instead, maybe for me, maybe even something like just changing the tone. Like, changing the tone, first of all. I'm like, hey, I'm not saying this is going to be your experience, but I don't know, I just want to say this to you. Like, this was my experience. And so if you would ever want some advice, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Instead of like,
or
oh my gosh,
like
you better get ready.
Yeah. Of like, oh my gosh, I remember the day that my first kid was born. It was so magical. But man, those nights were rough. But I never change anything. I'm so glad I was there for my kid.
Yes.
Like that. Like that is perfect. You said what you needed to say, but also just like two goods and a bad.
But also the thing is like whenever you just said that, you were not talking to me about what I should do. You were talking about your experience. Like, it'll be completely different if it was like, I remember when my kid was blah, 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 blah. So you better get ready because, like, those nights were rough for me. They're probably going to be rough for you. But blah, 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 blah. And they go back and say a nice thing. Even that, like, is a big difference. Like, just share your experience. Don't tell me about what my experience is going to be. You know, like, I don't know. That's my little rant.
Yeah.
What's your biggest fears or concern about parenting? I guess this can go both ways too. This can either go like within like just you as an individual, like something that you personally fear, or just like in general, like within marriage, like what's some fears and concerns, or not from fears that you have about parenting.
Maybe not parenting, but I think I'm nervous about the whole like birth process. Cause like that's always been like a scary thing to me, and obviously it's very unknown, and it's like painful and kind of traumatic to your body. But I think it's very beautiful that like a woman can do this. Oh, there's a bird. Did Charlie see it?
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. So your fear is basically having birth, childbirth, yeah, which is obviously.
I just don't know what's going to happen, obviously, because like something could go wrong, and obviously I trust my doctors and the medical team that will be there for both me and baby. But I mean, it's like I don't even know the day and it's gonna happen. Like our due date is July 20th, but like it could be a month early, it could be like a week late. So
yeah,
just a lot of unknowns, I think. But
I think my biggest fear about parenting, I don't know, and like this is it changes every week, and I think that's probably always gonna be the thing of like it changes with whatever's going on. But right now, for some reason, it's like physical health. Just because whenever I always imagined that whenever I got to this place in my life that I want to make sure that I'm able to spend time with my kid in activities, if that's what they desire to do. And so I've been just trying to focus on making sure that I'm as healthy as I can be whenever those years come. Obviously, the baby isn't here, so I have a little bit of time before the baby wants to move around and do things. But I don't know, like I'm just really trying to focus on physical health, but also mental health. Like that's important too. That's more important to me. Like, and that's a fear that I have. Like I was passing a park the other day on the way to a shoot, and I saw a lot of small kids. I think they were the youngest they could possibly be to start playing like softball or baseball. Like they were very young. Like I don't know what that would be though. I mean, they were, I don't know, they weren't very old, but there were a bunch of dads and moms just standing around as the kids were playing the games, and like they all looked very present and enjoying, like talking to the other parents and watching their kids. And I was like, I just hope that I can be there, Mm-hmm. Like I'm not like in my phone trying to figure out stuff for work. Like I'm able to be there with my kid and watch them and interact with my kids' friends' parents and get to know them well enough so that I don't put my kid in a weird situation because I just wasn't aware when there were opportunities to be aware that maybe these parents aren't parents that I want my kid to be around. Just different stuff like that, being present. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Business and finance. What are some challenges you faced while growing? Oh, you should ask me this.
What are some challenges you faced while growing your business? Come on. You want to come up here? Charles. Come.
Okay, so the more recent thing is figuring out like what I actually want to do in life. Because I always thought, I mean, not like actually, but like do I actually want to be rich? Like, is that what I actually want to do? Because, no, I don't think you want to. Maybe. Because I'm realizing like that is at arm's reach right now. Like I could do that, but it takes so much time away from family, from kids. And like like you don't. It doesn't always have to be like that, but it does have to be like that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like the biggest thing is just trying to figure out like what is that number that I want to do, like get to, that's okay to me. And that, I know that sounds like whatever, but like, you know, like maybe my business doesn't need to do $1 million in sales. Maybe it just only needs to do 700,000. You know, and so like figuring that out has been difficult, because that is how we scale the business, is by figuring out how much money we want to bring into it. So, no, she cannot come up here. Get down. Get down.
No, stop. What's wrong with him being up here? Because he's gonna jump over.
Yes.
Well, if he jumps over, then we put him back inside.
Okay.
Or if he starts to look like he's gonna jump, but I mean, he needs to learn like jumping on the table is fine. Trying to get on the top of the fence is not fine.
What is your proudest achievement in your career so far?
I think being a teacher, kind of just like all the little achievements add up. Like this kid had an aha moment, and this kid was finally able to understand this, or this kid is maybe just processing emotions differently and like behaving better in school, or this person like, you know, raised their F to a C and was passing my class, or this person made a friend, you know, something. I think it's just the little achievements that kind of add up. I know there's a lot of pressure to be like, test scores, have the best test scores, and always show that you're improving. And it's a lot of pressure for teachers and kids. And I think it's more about the little moments. What about you? What is your biggest achievement that you've been the most proudest of in your career? Most proud of in your career?
My biggest achievement would probably be figuring out the business side of being a creative. Because I think there are so many people, I mean, we all know them. Like that person who's still rapping in their bedroom, who hasn't figured out how to actually make a living from it. Or that person who like takes senior pictures, kinda, because they look, they you know, like, or whatever that may be.
His butthole was showing too. Sorry, this podcast should be called Cat Butthole.
Figuring out like the business side of it so that I can like actually turn my passion into a living. I think that's my biggest achievement overall. So I've been able to do that a few times, and that is nice. Now I hope my next big achievement is seeing other people do that from
1 million subscribers on YouTube.
No, I don't want 1 million. I don't think I want 1 million. That's too many. 1 million subscribers is a lot. But my next biggest goal that I would like to see is someone else who comes from a background like me being able to figure out the same thing from stuff I've taught them on YouTube.
Background being like small town. Everybody stays in their small town.
Yeah.
And is very content, but also just complaining about their small town. And even like poverty and stuff like that. Whereas like you can get out, you can go to school, you can not go to school, you can, you know, create a business and do well and make connections and trust people. You don't have to just like stay and, you know, be a drug dealer or I don't know. It's like a very big extreme.
Yeah.
Or like have to just stay in like a small community and keep working in a small community, and like that's your passion and that's your dream and like you love your small community and that's where you thrive, then absolutely. But if you're one of those in those small community that complaining like, and I hate this small town.
All over Facebook, you know who you
are.
Yeah.
But then, like, okay, well, you're 30 years old. Like, go out and do something. And, like, if you don't know how, ask. And, like, not saying that Joe's the most perfect person to ask or anything, but like find a connection and like,
yeah.
how do you do this? And like, if I wanted to move out of this city in a year, like, how can I start saving now? How can I plan for that now? And like, even if you just go and commute to like a bigger city and like just to get a job first, and then you can make some money, and then apartment.
There's a bunch of
find some
options.
roommates.
Yeah.
Like you don't have
Like
to
there's even
make a
like
big jump now.
courses. There's like, I mean, there's just YouTube in general. So yeah, there's a bunch of different options that you could do. Okay, so before this podcast gets too long, I mean, obviously it may not be as long as it is right now, but right now we're at 41 minutes, which is great. I just want to say thank you, wife, for doing this podcast with me. I'm not sure how often we'll do it. I mean, once a month is the plan, I guess. We'll do it once a month. And it won't always be outside. I have a studio inside where we typically do the podcast, but it's just so nice today. And so we wanted to come outside and do it. If you guys heard something that you liked during this podcast, or you know us as individuals, and you would like us to expand upon anything we talked about, or that you know about us and that you think will be good for others to hear, please let us know in the comment section below, because we would love to touch on those things. Because, yeah, we're here to have fun, but also as we're have fun and live our own life and grow our own family, we want to help others do the same thing. And so if we can, grow closer together and also help other people do the same, like, that's a win for us in our marriage. I think we actually have something like that in our marriage statement. We do. That's all for this week. You want to close it out?
So this is episode 1, April 1. Baby number 1 on the way. Klein Clan. I think the most well-behaved cat this podcast is Charlie. Anna tried, but she demanded to go back inside. Joe doesn't like him because he sheds. But that wraps it up for today.
See you guys in the next one.
I am Lauren, not Lauren.
Joe and Lauren podcast. See you guys in the next one. Peace.